whole fucking set of that cancer.
I'd rather play the Roanoke did again than Lapras and lose it after 45 minutes. Just
Video game players, you may begin your round.
That's Pokemon. It's literally Pokemon.
That is Pokemon.
You think I'm joking? I'm not.
Yeah, this sucks. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not playing. That's what I'm saying.
To many, Pokemon is just a children's card game. But to Carter and Hayden, it's not. To them, and many others, it's not just a game. It's everything.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Well, since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your tender head and the way you like the dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me.
My name is Alex, and I'm currently wandering around the airport complaining to myself about how tired I was after waking up at 7 in the morning to pick up my friend Hayden. He's a World Championship caliber Pokemon player, and we've been friends since we met at the 2013 National Championships, so I offered him a ride and hotel at this weekend's Regional Championship in Roanoke, Virginia. Hayden boarded a 10 p.m. flight from Oregon to Detroit, then a 6 a.m. flight from Detroit to DC, which was delayed 3 hours and had to make a landing in Pittsburgh to refuel due to bad weather before arriving in DC. His flight was supposed to arrive at 9:10.
I'm miserable. I would have rather been dragged off.
Delta sucks. Delta sucks.
We hit the road immediately.
It's in Winchester. It's 2:25 right now, and we're at a gas station.
My body from the waist down had fallen asleep long before we arrived at our luxury hotel. Because we'll be staying here the whole weekend, I feel the need to give you the grand tour of our suite. We got a quick bite to eat, then headed straight back to the room to get Hayden ready for the tournament. In order for you to understand anything that will happen in the rest of the video, I'm going to try my best to explain how to play the game. My name's Professor Snape, and let's get started. The game is played between two players who at tournaments will bring their own unique combination of 60 cards that form a deck that they've chosen out of the pool of over 600 different cards. Each Pokemon, trainer, and energy card has their own special effect or attack. Since each card is so unique, players look to discover the best card combinations possible in order to consistently win games. Players start the game by shuffling their deck, then flipping a coin to determine who gets the first turn. The winner of the coin flip will play first. The players then draw 7 cards to their hand and place 6 prize cards face down to the side. Each player chooses a basic Pokemon from the 7 cards they drew and places it in active position. Remaining benched Pokemon in the hand are allowed to be placed on the bench at any point during their respective turns. Benched Pokemon can be switched with the active Pokemon once per turn, since only the active Pokemon is allowed to attack. Now that the players are set up, it's time to play. The 2 players take turns, which start with drawing 1 card from the top of the deck and conclude by attacking or passing the turn to their opponent. Players are only allowed to attach 1 energy card from their hand to one of their Pokemon per turn. Every Pokemon requires a different amount of energy to fulfill their own specific attack costs, which are used to deal damage to opposing Pokemon. Once a Pokemon has more damage on it than it has hit points available, it is knocked out. Knocking out an opponent's Pokemon allows you to take one of the prize cards you put face down at the beginning of the game. Take all 6 prize cards, and you win. This is the most common of the 3 possible win conditions. Your opponent having no cards left to draw at the beginning of their turn, and knocking out your opponent's active Pokemon with none remaining on the bench are the other 2 win conditions. Think you have what it takes?
Hayden, you'd literally post a 1-0 tongue and then just like lose 4 straight and be like, I'm gonna take that tongue back.
Just keep on posting the tongues.
While waiting in line to get inside the venue, we ran into a couple other players we were friends with, who I haven't seen for several months. However, instead of an awkward hello you may have with a classmate you haven't seen for a year since graduation, it was like we had started right where we left off.
It definitely made me a lot more social. When I was a lot younger, I was not very social, like at all. I was just really shy, didn't really want to talk to anybody. Was just kind of like close with a couple people, and that was it. But with this, I got to travel all around the country, all around the world, honestly. I got to go to London this year. And I just met so many great, amazing people through this game.
This trend continued as we reunited and caught up with old friends from across the country continuously throughout the day.
Hey, Blue.
Keep asking.
Hey, Blue. Hey, Blue.
Louder.
Hey, Blue. Hey, Blue.
Hey, Azula's literally the biggest goober.
We met up with a few other friends, including a 13 and 15-year-old, and sat down at a table before the tournament to talk strategy and make final preparations before handing in a written copy of their 60-card decks to the judges.
The prep is honestly a lot. You have to practice and practice and practice, and to make sure all the card counts are right and make sure it's consistent and you draw well. It's kind of hard because it takes a lot of your time, and so when you have school, a job, or whatever you're doing, it could really mess up your social life, when you're trying to practice. So maybe some days where you want to hang out with some friends in school, but you want to practice a lot for this tournament. So sometimes you have to skip out on practicing, or skip out on hanging with your friends once in a while, just to be prepped, to make sure you do at least okay. You don't want to do bad. Yeah. Don't be a loser. I'm feeling pretty good. I did a lot of practicing today. I also did a lot of traveling today too, which is kind of a jet lag. Yeah, I feel like it's noon or something. I don't know what time it is. I don't know. I feel ready. I want to say I don't care how I do, just because I came here to save people, really. But as a human being who doesn't like to lose, doing well would be great. Yeah. So I don't like to lose.
Hayden and the rest of the players staying with me had spent hours preparing for the tournament, and are ready for the 12 hours of continuous play they are about to face. However, what they don't know is that this regional championship would be the largest to date, drawing in over 700 players in their age division alone, with countless big-name players all battling for valuable points needed to qualify for the World Championships in August. But that's not all. The prize pool for this tournament in the Masters division is over $25,000 cash prize.
Okay, my name is Andrew Mahone. I've been playing for about 5 or 6 years. I'm from Ohio. I actually am a teacher right now, and I'm teaching at a behavior school. I'm going to graduate school also for special education. So got into the game about 5 years ago with some friends, and it was just a way for me to stay competitive kind of after I stopped playing sports in college. So making time for Pokemon's really hard right now, but the added incentive of the fact that I'm actually like making money this season is really great. Just because of my performance at Fort Wayne, I was able to, buy my fiance an engagement ring. Like, that's really cool, I probably wouldn't have had $3,000 lying around otherwise. So, even though I'm spending money, I'm positive on the season. I'm sponsored. I have a job writing articles for Poke Beach. Shout out to ARG as well. They sponsor me to come here. So, I'm making money, which now I can kind of justify the expenses and things like that, and justify making the time, because it's kind of like a job almost. As a former athlete, you don't have to, athletics and gaming have a lot in common, and there's a lot of overlap between them, and it's kind of, as esports begin to grow and kind of become a bigger thing, just to be open-minded to the fact that, card games, video games, competitive, could be just as entertaining as sports,
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate it.
After the first round, we all meet up to find out that everybody had won. For the first day, players play 9 Swiss rounds, which means you play against somebody with the same number of match points as you. A win gets you 3 points, a tie gets you 1, and a loss gets you 0. This means that as you do better and better in the tournament, you will start playing against better players. In the first few rounds, it's likely you will get a weaker opponent, who won't pose much of a challenge. We talk about what decks were popular at each other's tables, talk about how their last rounds went, and I give them some advice on certain matchups before the next round.
My name is Carter Copeland. I'm a senior at Midlothian High School. I live outside of Richmond, Virginia, and I've been playing Pokemon for like 11 years. I mean, I haven't really won anything big, but I've got lots of top 8s in the regionals at states, top 4s at states. I got second at 2 states. I won at states in junior. Oh, okay, I can't really talk about my junior division accomplishments. That was like 7 years ago, but I'm pretty bad. All of the cards are a lot better than they were like 6 or 7 years ago, because I guess they keep having to print new stuff to keep the game interesting, right? And they just make them a little better every time. The rules have changed, the way you play the game has changed. Honestly, most of the people who play the game have changed too. You know what I mean? It's not the same crowd. Now people come and go. It's a card game, You're not gonna go to every event. You're not gonna go to every tournament. Nobody can really do that. So you gotta think there's gotta be a last tournament for some people. I remember being in San Francisco and just being in awe of like how Pokemon, he's got me across the country, and I'm with all my friends, because of this stupid little kid's game.
Something very interesting happens in this match between Carter and his opponent. You'll see how the game can turn a friendly and cordial interaction between players into a cutthroat one in a matter of seconds. A ruling question comes into play that eventually degrades into an unresolvable he said, she said situation, with both players arguing their side to each other, and eventually to the judges. Losing the dispute would hurt the players' chances to advance to the second day of competition severely.
Your turn 1, I think turn 2.
And I turn 3 in 5 seconds.
No, your turn. Sorry, that's correct. Your turn 0. This is on your turn. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. I have 2 turns.
We call time at the end when you announce Blizzard on turn 1.
No, you were already playing. You were already going through with that.
Don't even try it, man.
No, I'm not trying anything. Oh. You have that recorded, so worst case.
No, not. You're not. Don't bring that right
here. We can't talk.
In tournaments, there's a 50-minute time limit per round. If time is called and a winner has not been decided, the players get 3 additional turns to finish the game, starting on whoever's turn time was called on. This player is turn 0, with the preceding turns 1, 2, and finally 3. If a winner is not decided after the 3rd turn of time, the match ends in a draw. Carter and his opponent are disputing a very technical ruling regarding who is turn 0. If Carter is right, he'll manage to earn a draw and 1 match point. If he is wrong, his opponent will have 1 more turn and inevitably win the game given his position. Thankfully, I had recorded the end of this match, and I can look back at instant replay to see who was right. The official Pokemon rulebook states that a player's turn technically starts once he or she has drawn their 1 card per turn. Since Carter hasn't technically drawn his card for the turn when the announcement for time was called, his opponent is turn 0, taking away the extra turn his opponent needed to win the game. Carter was correct and gets the tie that he deserved. If Carter had drawn his card just a half second later, he would have lost the round.
Masters Division, that is time. Trading Card Game Masters, that is time.
Read encyclopedias for like fun or whatever. Fun. Apparently.
That's so nerdy.
And then he was like, he hated high school so much that he like switched high schools because it was too easy, like 7 times. And he
Because I'm what?
That camera's gonna break when it puts it over there.
Oh.
I secretly think Ansman's the best.
Everybody says it's super ugly, but he's a cutie. You know what? I don't care how many people say
You
he's
jumped
ugly.
on that. I heard you were staying in the same room tonight. Are you hitting that tonight?
Why do you think we're all staying in the room together?
Yeah, it's actually a 1 room. It's 1 bed.
Yeah,
1 bed.
bed.
4.
Playing Pokemon when I was 9 or 10, and now I'm 27. So it's been on and off, but it's been a huge part of my life. And so, yeah.
How are you as a player?
Yeah, I've gotten top 16 at both Worlds and Nationals once, and I've not cracked the top 8, but will try to. I've won 2 regionals in this era, and then I've I guess placed a lot of top 8s. I actually have a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th at regionals. So I'm going for that 8th place to finish the combo. So I work as the best way to describe what I do is I build statistical models. I build and validate statistical models that are used by banks for making various sorts of decisions, day-to-day decisions or long-term planning. And so it combines math and statistics in the field of finance. So I do that as my main job, but people like to joke that Pokemon is actually my real job, and I do the statistics on the side. Yeah, so I actually have a lot of friends who play this game, and since I've been playing for a while, I have a lot of sort of lifelong friends who play this game as well. And so it's nice to see them. It's like a way to, we hang out after the tournament. My first tournament, big tournament that I won was a Super Battle Zone back in 2003. We actually played in the basement at Rockefeller Center at the Pokemon Center, where Pokepop, who's one of the more famous judges, was the head judge of that event. And I actually was my first big win. I played, I won the senior division, I guess, for that event. And we actually had to play in the finals against the Masters Division winner. It felt great, and I guess it got me rolling for the next couple of years as well.
You know Ben pretty well too, right?
I know Ben and I are pretty good friends. Yeah. Playing is it's a little looser. You can joke around, and like Ben, declare the wrong attack, but I let him take it back. And so it's like you could. It's just a lot easier playing with friends.
Yeah, that's good. You do bad?
Kinda, not really.
What's your record?
3-3.
You gonna win out?
Probably not. Hopefully.
You probably get I bet next round no one shows up, honestly.
Playing these tournaments for 12 hours straight is tough. Like, really tough. It's hard to explain, but imagine solving a bunch of really similar puzzles over and over again, but each one has its own little unique twist you have to figure out mid-match. And lucky for them, they still have 3 more rounds left.
Okay, I'm Daniel Lynch. Most people know me as Finn though, because that's like my nickname, I guess. I'm from Sacramento. I've got 487 points right now. I've been playing for 7 years, and I own this website called CutterTap.com.
What is your favorite part about the game? Yeah.
It's such a good game. Like, it's terrible sometimes, but just like the mental challenge. Like it's like I love games like chess and just strategizing and thinking like that for like hours on end. It's just like I like to challenge my brain like that, and I think it's really cool. And then you combine that with the creativity of deck building, and it's like the perfect combination for me because it challenges me creatively and like technically. I think ahead. Like I plan my life like way further ahead now. Like I live my whole life like I'm playing Pokemon. It's really kind of a trip. Yeah, no, seriously, it like rerouted my brain. Like I'm seriously a completely different person because of more like robot-y, I guess. But I like it. I just like think about what I expect other players to be using, and then I use, you know, attack just like a counter card to what they have. And I expected Mark and Oscar Morales both to play Virizion Genesect. I knew that was the best tech for it, so I decided to tech it, and it worked out for me. But it's just basically prediction, putting specific cards in because you predict a certain matchup.
Meanwhile, in the senior division, a match that could be worth potentially thousands of dollars was happening. One of the players was a kid that I taught how to play the game almost 7 years ago.
1-1 right now. I just played against, and then he was going first game 3, which is a pretty big advantage. I still made it pretty close, which is crucial because over half of his deck is item cards. He used an item card when I didn't hit the Vileplume. That was really crucial. That won him the game. I think if I had hit Vileplume that turn, then they would have been mine, but... I am 5-2 right now.
Yeah, $10.
One more win and I might make it into the top 8, maybe. It's top 16 for sure. So I'm just holding on to whatever I have left. I've been drawing pretty well and playing pretty well these past 3 rounds. I haven't noticed any big miss players, so I'm feeling good. It doesn't really matter that much because the person who is a threat to pass me in the rankings has the same record as me, so he might not make cut either.
What do you guys play?
Huh?
What did you play him?
That would be pretty rough.
As you can probably guess, John ended up playing the opponent he was talking about. If John loses, he is at serious risk of losing his top 4 position in North America, which means he would not receive a fully paid trip, including flight and hotel, to the North American Intercontinental Championships in July, which is held in Indiana. Hey everybody, it is
9:59.
It's 10 o'clock.
We're still here.
We got here at
7:30.
Yeah, 7:38, no 8.
Yeah.
Oh. We got here at 8. I've been awake for 14 hours filming and stuff. This is unreal. I want to go to bed.
YouTube channel?
No, I'm making a documentary.
Document round 9. Hayden doesn't have an opponent.
And where is your opponent?
He left. I saw him
Nizam.
leave.
Given Hayden's record, it's impossible for him to make it to the top 32 second day of play, or even the top 64 for consolation prizes at the very least. His opponent, a very skilled local player I've grown up playing with, left the venue due to pure frustration caused by his poor performance. Since he didn't show up, I sat down where Hayden's opponent should have been and talked to the rest of the 4-4 players who decided to stick around for their match.
He left.
He's gone. What do you mean he left?
He walked out the door before I could.
He was scared of it.
Yes. He was scared. He didn't want the hands. Camera!
Obama.
I realized something I never would have noticed had I been playing in the tournament. All of the players at the bottom tables were extremely familiar faces, whom I'd never talked to, but had seen around at several tournaments. They aren't the extremely competitive players who will leave once they've been statistically eliminated from the tournament, but the ones who are on the other side of the spectrum, and play just because it's fun. They weren't there to do well, but they came for moments like these, like the ones I had been having all weekend. Precious moments of laughter and happiness spent with friends old and new. Memories that I will cherish and look back on with a smile. And it's all because of this beautiful game.
Pokemon is where I meet a lot of great people. Honest people, people I can trust and just hang out with and be comfortable with. I can't just go anywhere and find that. I can't find it in the newspaper or on the television because those aren't real people. Sporting events, you see people are one way on the field and another way in real life. When I'm hanging around somebody for 10, 14 hours a day, I get to see a lot of their bad behaviors. And with Pokemon players, these are pretty good people. And I think that's because it involves the children and the younger kids, and we are actively attempting to be role models the entire time we're here. And I think that makes a big difference, just in the quality of people we get and the practices that we are integrating into our lives, because we want it to be a great game.
So there's one thing that you could tell people that don't play the game about this game, this great community, what would it be? One thing you'd want them to know.
Good people having good fun.